So I watched this earlier. I liked it overall. Like I've got some minor complaints about it. Spoilers are being discussed on here, so if you haven't seen this, I would honestly say give it a chance. Like I didn't hate it overall. Like I would actually watch this again. And I might go watch it out in the living room and the big screen out there because I just watched it here on the computer and it got lazy. The scenery or the cinematics or whatever, the animation is really good. Like it just really looks nice, man. Like I love the art style and everything how it looked. It was, I mean, look at this. This is fucking awesome, man. I don't understand how this movie tanks so bad and why it's hated so bad, but we're gonna get into it. I don't want to give away the whole story or anything, but I do want to talk about what I don't like on here or the complaints I have, which is minor. It's minor complaints. First off, the complaint about Hera is OP, or like Rey Skywalker or powerful wham and stuff. That's just not true. Like she has a huge learning curve on this, and even at the end, she still struggled to fight. And the problem with the trailer and the advertising is they made everything about Hera, and they made it look like even the trailer, like she's got the shield and the sword, and she's kicking ass and all this. That's not how the movie is. The majority of the movie is a massive battle between Rohan and the Dunlings, and the the Helm Hammerhand and his sons, and she's in it, but she's more of like how do I put this? Like I would say she's more diplomatic than anything, and she's trying to avoid fights because she's not a warrior in this. She's just not a warrior. Like even this scene at the end and everything. This is at the beginning. She has a basic knowledge of fighting. Put it that way. Like she has a basic understanding of like she's been trained obviously, but she is no fucking samurai or Aragon or Legolas or even that redhead in the Hobbit movies. She is just she just knows how to get by, but she gets bested a lot in this, man. The first fight that she has, the guy knocks the sword out of her hand and she's crawling and she has to call the horse to help her to knock the guy down. And then the guy charges at her and she grabs a pitchfork and the guy runs into a pitchfork. And her response to that guy dying is like she's horrified that this guy died and then yet she had to kill this guy and everything. I mean, it's not, I don't know why. Like I seen all of these things about when this came out, like neurotic and oh god, it's OP crap again and powerful women and all of it, and I'm like, I'm watching this expecting this redhead chick to be soloing an entire Dunling army and killing elephants by the thousands and all of this. None of that. None of that. Zero. It's just a massive war, and she spends most of her time trying to help the people, and then she's forced to fight at the end. Now I'm gonna go through some plot point things that just it was very annoying. I don't know why. Here, let me show this on here. Helm. I want to see Helm Hammerhand on here. Okay, this is Helm Hammerhand. Now, I don't know the lore of Helm Hammerhand or anything. Like, I'm not like an insane Lord of the Rings lore person or anything. So I don't know if this is accurate or not, but he's just an arrogant total prick on here how they made this. But see, the difference between Helm Hammerhand and Eowyn and her dad is the dad was more like he was more polite to Eowyn about it. He just said, I won't have shield maidens fighting. I won't talk of this no more or something. Then he rides off. Where this guy, he sits here lecturing her for what seems like 5 minutes about the shield maidens are useless and we're not going to have this and none of this matters. I'm going to take care of it. Your job is to go get me. It was kind of like a reverse woke thing or something. Like I don't know why they overemphasized it too much basically. Whereas Eowyn and the King of Gondor they're just like he just bluntly told her, "No, we're not having shield maidens fight. I'm not going to speak of this." And he rides off. And then she goes and fights anyways and ends up killing the Witch King, which was awesome. But the way they made this with him and her, and it was just kind of like this arrogant, cocky thing, and it just that did not work. Now this side story thing with these orcs and this troll thing. Okay, look, like I said, spoilers. If you haven't seen this, I suggest you go see this and come back because you'll understand what I'm talking about. But so this villain guy towards the end, uh, after he gets into Rohan in this massive battle, they end up going to Helm's Deep, and Helm Hammerhand. I mean, this guy is literally the Hulk. He's this Mike Tyson knocking people out with his fists and killing them all over the place and all this, and he gets like 20 fucking arrows up the ass and somehow makes it to Helm Deeps and survives. And then nobody knows where he went. And then this guy outside is there's a huge storm going on here too during this, so people can't really see what's going on. But the villain guy outside keeps losing his soldiers. And then Hera trying to figure out where the dad went, she finds this secret passage, and she finds out there's two orcs, and I don't know what that here. I'll show it on here. I don't know what the fuck this thing was supposed to be. See, it's this thing. I don't know if this is some sort of mountain troll thing or what, but there's this thing and two orcs that are coming down there outside of Helm's Deep, and they're just tearing people apart and eating them. And then Hera discovers this, and then Helm Hammerhand comes out of nowhere and saves her. And she's like, "Oh, I knew you weren't a wraith and all this." And it's just kind of like this. You mean to tell me, in this time period, they can't handle two orcs and whatever this troll thing is? It literally took out 90% of that fucking guy's army, man. I was like, wow, this is ridiculous. So the other thing that I want to talk about that was this was a huge plot hole. Huge. And I don't know why they did this. So the villain outside Helm's Deep decides to start building a siege tower. And what does everybody in Helm's Deep do? They just watch them building a siege tower. And I'm thinking, you stupid fucks. Why don't you go and light up a bunch of arrows on fire and burn that thing down so they can't get in there? Because if they don't have that siege tower, all they'd have to do is just hide in Helm's Deep and wait out the winter, and they all would have froze to death out there or had to leave. But no, they let him make the siege tower, and then they decide to light it up with arrows, and then they throw the drawbridge down, and then decide to light it up. And I'm like, Why didn't you do this beforehand so they couldn't get in there? I mean, that was a very stupid plot hole. How did they not see this? I mean, that really kind of ruined part of that movie, to be honest. Like, I was kind of like, how stupid are these people? I'm like, I don't feel sorry for you that you're dying now because you could have stopped this beforehand, but you decided to let him do all this. Yeah. Um, there's a lot of member berries, or I should say, future member berries on this. Like, you're seeing a lot of things from the movies on here, and the ending, the ending, you're like, what do they do? They're setting it up for the actual movies is what it's a setup to. And then I'm assuming they were going to make a sequel because the way the ending was, you're like, oh wow, okay. Um, overall, I liked it. I would definitely watch it again, but that plot whole thing was like, come on. Hera is like an actual woman. She's not OP. She's not Rey Skywalker 2.0. She gets her ass handed to her. She can hold her own somewhat, but the men on here were just too good for her. Like, she's not a warrior. That's the best way to put it. I don't know why they made the whole focus. Here, let me look at this poster. All right, we'll look at this. All right. Why they have her, like, okay, if I was to remake this poster, I would have I would have Helm Hammerhand where she is, and then I would have her here, and then this guy moved down a bit, so it'll be Helm Hammerhand's here, and then she's here, and then this guy's here. And that would be a more accurate depiction of what this movie is. Because the trailer really was misleading. That was a really bad trailer that they had for this. I mean, they tried to make this whole movie about, let's see what the plot, how they describe it. A sudden attack by Wolf, a clever and traitorous Lord of Rohan, seeking vengeance for the death of his father, forces Helm Hammerhand and the King of Rohan and his people to make a daring last stand in the ancient stronghold of the Hornburg. I would say that's somewhat accurate, but the better way to explain this movie is they young Eowyn. This should have been called Young Eowyn, because that's basically what it was. They just took the Lord of the Lord of the Rings Eowyn and her dad, and they just put him into this time period and gave her red hair. That's really what it feels like, Young Eowyn. But I like this movie overall. Like I said, there's minor complaints. 6.6 out of 10. Personally, I would give it probably 7.5. I thought it was really entertaining. It wasn't like really that bad. Yeah, there's some bad moments here and there, but overall, it was a decent, watchable movie. I'd rather watch this than Craven. I'll tell you that much. I don't have really much else to say on here. Do they have the trailer on here? Let's see if they got the trailer on here. Well, they got that trailer. All right, let's official trailer. All right, let's see what this one shows, I guess.
All Middle-earth knows the tale of the War of the Ring. But 200 years before that...
Riders of the Mark! Brothers of Rohan!
There was an older tale.
Arise!
We come with an offer to strengthen Rohan.
Hera, daughter of Helm, I, Wolf, seek your hand in marriage.
Our fathers speak as if I were not even in the room. I do not want to marry you.
You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne. You will live to regret this, old man.
There's so
Gee,
many of them.
Just give the whole fucking movie away, why don't you? Jesus.
The boy you knew is gone.
Fire!
There's so many of them. I pledge to fight for my king.
You know nothing of war.
I'm the fastest rider you have.
See, they should have cut that stuff out with her. It should have been the first part of the trailer with the war and all that was good, but then when they start showing her and I'm the best person you have and all this, that's not how the movie is. Okay, see, this is the siege tower thing I was telling you about. They actually sat there and let them build this fucking thing. And I'm just like, why would you let them build this?
People need hope, Hera. Something to believe in.
My pride. My joy. You could rule the world.
See, this is the stuff they shouldn't. This is what makes the movie look like it's powerful wham and stuff. They should have left that out. The first part where they show the fighting with Rohan, that is the movie. All of this stuff they're showing with her, this is like at the best 3 minutes out of the entire movie of her doing stuff.
You think I am afraid of you?
You should be.
What does Mordor want with rings?
See, if I was to have made this trailer, it would have been, it would have just been this part here where they're showing this and that, and then I would have just cut to those orcs talking about the rings. I would have left all the stuff about Hera out there because it's all it's like how how Game of Thrones is. It's like that. But it would be like if they took Game of Thrones and put Daenerys at the front there and had the whole entire show. It led you to believe the whole entire show was about Daenerys when it wasn't. It was about everybody. Well, anyways, I think that advertising really hurt them on this. That's it. I got nothing else to say. I mean, I liked it. I'd watch it again. It's got some plot holes and some minor crap on it, but there's no real woke shit or anything. It's just basically the same story of Eowyn, but in a different time period. Anyways, thanks for watching.